our children from the bushes to make sure that the terrorists who are occupying our various forests are evicted from our land. Before that period, everybody remember how Umahi was crying when our people were being killed in Ebonyi. Everybody also remember how Obiano, Ugwanye, and all these illegitimate governors then, all of them were crying because of the menace of all these terrorists that are occupying our bushes. Asari Dakup also activated his special forces. All of them were focused not against the terrorists, but against the Eastern Security Network that they are only stationed in our bushes to drive away the terrorists that are occupying our land. The reason why they did that was only to please their masters, who have given them the political position for them to make money for themselves and as well as the family. So they were only focused on those who are fighting against the terrorists in our bushes. So anybody that is not part of what we are doing will be likened like a bubag in our platforms. Will be likened like Dead Man Squad in our platform. Will be likened like a special force in our platform. So please, Honorable Minister, let that platform be sanitized so that if we are one, we know that we are one. If we are 10, we know that we are 10, and we have the same mindset, and all of us are focused. The reason being that even if when we are 10 or 20 and there is one of them in our midst, every information about what we are doing, even when we have indoors discussions, such information will go out. So it's that we move ahead with speed. Having said that, everybody also have seen what is trending in the Nigerian space or in the social media about Buhari's death and all the rest of it. Then the question will be, which of the Buharis have died? Which of the Buharis, among the Buharis that we have their pictures on the social media, which one has died at this time? But one thing that is so significant about what is happening today is the vindication of Ali Damazin Nnamdi Kanu, who made that a solemn submission and stood on it, and even bettered Biafra on it, and told the world and told the Nigerian government that Buhari died in 2017 and was buried in a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia. He staked Biafra for it. And the Nigerian government don't want Biafra. They fought Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for preaching Biafra. They held him for preaching Biafra. But on a platter of gold, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu promised them to stop Biafra only if they can prove that Buhari is still very much alive. Did the Nigerian government take that challenge? They didn't take that challenge. Did they sue Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for that? They didn't sue. When did you know last that Buhari is sick and they flew him to America or to UK? After his death, which of the world leaders have already come out wholeheartedly to speak out? Oh, he was this and that. Even where he died from, not Prince Charles have not said anything. Not even the Prime Minister of UK. They have not said anything. I expect them to say something because they are supporting Nigeria. The only people that have come out to say, oh, sending condolences are the same people that the Nigerian government used in order to keep the over 20 million foolish Nigerians in the dark about what is happening. Yes, over 20 million foolish idiots who have professors, who have engineers, who have doctors, who have technocrats, who have MD of companies, CEOs of organizations, all of them were cajoled into believing that Buhari is alive. And they used certain individuals like Obasanjo, they used Goodluck Jonathan, they used all the cabal, all the governors, they used Osibanjo, who should have ascended the throne if he was bold enough to say the truth, because they don't want Mazin Nnamdi Kanu to be vindicated at that particular time. That was why every one of them, they just closed their eyes on the truth. African Union, ECOWAS, all of them were in the job because they received one reward or the other from the Nigerian terrorist state. Now that they have said that their own Buhari have died, which is a confirmation what our leader said, 2027. This is the time for them to free our leader, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, the prophet of our time, Ohamadike one of Biafra, a man who nobody have ever met a prophecy like him, and nobody can get accurate prophecies like our leader Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. A man who is fearless before his enemies, a man who stood before the court of his oppressor and tell the president Buhari in 2017, you can never jail me. You cannot jail me. Mazin Nnamdi Kanu stood before that court in 2017 and told Buhari that he cannot be jailed. And only that put a shock on Buhari's nerves, and that led to the death of Buhari. Very, very unfortunate, but that's the fact. So this is the time for the people of Nigeria to understand that Mazin Nnamdi Kanu was a solution to their problem, because he called upon them to forget about Big Brother, to forget about Night of 1,000 Laughs, to forget about all creating content on the social media and focus on the problem that is killing each and every one of them, that is bringing them down, making them not to move forward, leading to unemployment, leading to lack of industrialization, lack of social amenities, is because of the government. In 2020, our leader encouraged all these people, if they can sustain the NSAS protest, that the world will come to their aid. But the Nigerian government, being who they are, corrupt as they are, they now presented, what do you call them? Palliatives. They went and presented palliatives before the over 120 million useless Nigerians. Indomie and co. Indomie and all the rest of them. Over 120 million people who are suffering and smiling. An opportunity came for them to destroy those who are putting them into hardship, to destroy those who are making them to suffer. Opportunity came for them, but they looked at themselves and they were given between freedom and their and food and feeding. Unfortunately, these people are thinking of today. They were never thinking about tomorrow. So when the warehouses of the Indomies, rice, millet, and all the rest of them were open for them, they now embraced their stomach outside their freedom. And that was why the Nigerian government won them and destroyed the protests and destroyed their agitation, their protests for a better future for themselves and their various families. The man who made that possible today, who wanted them to rise up, is still very much in detention. And they are not coming out to say, free this man because he committed no crime. This is the time for Mazin Nnamdi Kanu to be freed. This is the time for Mazi Simon Ekpanjoku to be freed. This is the time for every Biafran who finds himself in any part of that contraction called Nigeria to understand that the time has come for him or she or they, call it organizations, to come out now and support their freedom. Come out if you are in the homeland. Support the Biafran Defense Forces who are fighting for our liberation. If you are in diaspora, support the government who are fighting for our recognition. Make sure you join the every Saturday and Sunday fundraising. This is geared solely for our recognition from the international community, for us to be a free nation. This is what we deserve. We desire it. And we also use this opportunity, I don't know whether it's to call on the Nigerian government to come to Finland and dialogue. That is what the Prime Minister told them. If you need dialogue, meet Finland. I don't know whether now Finland is really qualified to dialogue for the Biafran people. I don't actually know. Maybe the government will tell us whether they are in a better position. Because to us, as it stands now, they disappointed us because they held the mouthpiece of the Biafran people, the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile, the peace ambassador, a man who have committed no crime, a man who was only speaking for his people, a man who was standing up against the subjugation, against the killings, against the intimidation of his people, and was creating awareness for the world to know. Finland will not be ignorance of the knowledge of the atrocities of the Nigerian state, because we know that the Prime Minister submitted a booklet of the Biafran Charter to them, so that they will be aware of actually what has happened and what is happening in the land of our ancestors. The time to free our Prime Minister and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now, because they committed no crime. I want to use this opportunity as well to send a very strong message to the terrorists who are in Biafra land, looking for who to kill, looking for families to destroy, looking for women to rape. The Biafran Defense Forces are not joking. They are living up to the expectation, taking up territories, protecting our women, and defending our land. You will have the defense of our land to contend with. This is the time to evade all the terrorists in our land. And Musa, we are advising you to pull out all these terrorists that are going to Biafra land, because all of them, none of them will return. None of them will return. If you value the life of your soldiers, you have to pull them out of Biafran territory, because Biafra land is the only peaceful place in that part of the geographical location. Every other place has been occupied by the terrorists, and people are running out from their territories. It is only in our land that our men, our women, our children are safe. The pockets of insecurity that we have in our land is caused by the terrorists that Musa and the Nigerian government are shifting to our land. And the time for them to be evicted totally from our land is now. My wonderful Biafrans, we are winning. There are a lot of positive information coming out from the homeland. That is a worthy of commendation. The actions and activities of the Biafran Defense Forces, they have demonstrated that yes, they are well trained and they act according to the ethics and the rule of engagement in military service. So we really appreciate them for what they are doing. General Ibutuzo and generals and all the generals that are defending our land, we need to commend them. And the only way we can commend them more is by giving them all the necessary logistics, supporting them and donating towards the government for our recognition. Once we are recognized, those in the homeland will defend the land with everything that they have, just like they are doing at this particular time. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Minister Betty, I appreciate you.
And whenever this man comes out, when he speaks, you see the uprightness, you see the truth, you see the passion, for the freedom of his fellow brothers and sisters. That was the reason why all Biafrans followed him. After our leader MNK had told every one of us, go and listen to him. He is bringing a new dimension, and we followed him. And today, our prime minister is arrested. A lot of lies started coming up. They use Ugozi to attack. Different groups are coming up to attack, like the Madam Raphael Ajere, Wanda Vavava, and his group. So today now,
Okay.
because there are many lies that they are spreading out there, but whenever the Honorable Minister of Information, Sonia Parawa, comes out to speak, you see the uprightness, you see the truth, you see the zeal for the defense of motherland, you see the passion for the freedom of our people. And this is why we also follow the truth. You understand? So as a matter of fact, we thank you so much, Honorable Sonia Parawa, for all that you have done. A special thank you to our acting Prime Minister. He said, if you are gentle, if you are quiet, you cannot do this work. Or you cannot even pioneer the freedom of the, just sit on one place, just be supporting from a secret place. If you are quiet, no wonder he said it's not a good man. No. You understand? You know, all this while, these people have been sabotaging and they get away with it. And their sabotage will lead to the death of a lot of our people. Yet they will still be gallivanting, walking freely in their respective places. Nobody who held them accountable. So now they turn the blood of our people, the blood of Biafrans in homeland here, who are being killed in their numbers on a daily basis, on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. They turn the blood of our people to caricature and mockery. They love it because they know those that sabotaged before were not held accountable. They are moving freely. Nothing happens to them. So this era is one of the best eras we have ever witnessed in freedom fighting. And to the likes of Azu, it's quite unfortunate that a young man like that, he has a good life in America. He has everything that he wants. He has good health care, good hospital that he might not even pay for. He has a lot of social amenities, social welfare packages that come to him every now and then. Yet he knows that right here in homeland, in Biafra land, there is nothing of such. Yet he made himself available to carry out financial blockade against the Biafra freedom, reminding us of what Nigeria did to us in 1967 to 1970 by carrying out economy blockade against her. This is the most painful aspect of it, of the whole thing, because that is what this man and the Choma Yirubi, this is exactly what Imam Amugu, Madam Raphael Ajeri, this is exactly what they reminded us of. The blockade that was carried out against us in 1967 to 1970. This is exactly what they reminded us. You understand? But as long as our God liveth, God is not going to abandon us. God is still with us, and we are moving forward. We are marching forward. So, my people, the topic says BRGI, free MNK and PM. As a matter of fact, whenever I see Alexandra stuff post, I just be laughing like, why is this man deceiving himself? You are posting, sometimes you speak about freedom. And somebody that is fighting for the freedom of his people, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, you detained him for defending his people, for speaking for the protection of Biafran babies, children, women, youth, old fathers, and mothers. You detained him. So now you detain him so that the terrorists, both in uniform and in ragtag, can come to our land, massacre our babies, massacre our children and our women, will rape our women. Then you will be satisfied, all because of your greed, that you have been promised the resources that are in our land. That same greed is what will destroy you. And every European country or Western country that is of this habit, that greed, that you don't care about humanity. If you don't even care for us, the men, you don't care for us, the boys. What about the little children? What about the babies? What about the little girls? What about the women? You don't care for them too? Your greed will allow you to detain somebody that is speaking for the defense of his people. You lock him up so that the terrorists buy their weapon. Look at the type of bombs they brought to Biafra land to come and kill our people. You understand? But that greed will end up destroying you, believe you me. The greed will end up destroying you. And that thing that you have been promised, because these people that are making these promises to you, they are not from my region. They are not from Biafra land. They are not the owners of the resources they are using to make promise to you. The resources, the oil, the gas, the whatever resources they must have used to promise Finland or Alexandra Stop is from Biafra land. So before you get the resources, you will need to pass through us, bro. You will need to pass through us. That is where the problem is. That is where your greed will destroy you. So whatever you are doing, go ahead and do. But remember, once upon a time you fought for your freedom. Nobody locks up your leaders. And today, you are a nation where everybody wants to travel to. You are an envy of the nations of the earth today because you fought for your freedom and you build your country to your taste along tribal and ethnic lines, along common value systems, along common belief system. You build your nation like that. But people in Africa, because you just want to keep Africa down, you don't want Africa, you don't want any a nation in Africa to see the light of day, to experience a good life, to live a good life. Our best brain has to travel after they graduate. They must travel abroad to your country because before they can find good life, before they can find greener pasture. That is so that is so that is so bad. I thought you said you are a civilization. Europe is a civilization. The West is a civilization. Why is this? Why is this? Locking up Cho Ayaba in Norway, locking up Prime Minister Simon Epa in Finland. People that are defending innocent babies, we that are at home. Anytime we live to see another day, we give thanks and praise to God because that is the work of God. Even the supposed Nigeria government that is supposed to protect people is the one that is after the lives of people. What is the offense of those people? They want to be free. They want to be able to express their thoughts, their mind, their grievances, their discomfort. They want to be able to speak it out. And you begin to look for these people to kill them. Is that how you operate in Finland? Is that how you operate in Finland? Just because of greed, you lock up a man, Simon Ekpa, that is fighting for little babies. The blood of the little babies that have been killed in Biafra land, children and women, they are crying against the nation of Finland. They are crying against Alexander Stubb. They are crying against Britain.